Hey, welcome back everybody to another Six-Sided Legion tournament talk video. I'm Brett.
I'm Blayne.
And we're just going to talk about the second KTO, or the Kill Team Open. Took place in Baltimore, Maryland, just this past weekend. What is that, like February 20?
It was like
whatever it was.
19th?
That seems about right.
Or something like that, yeah.
So we just want to talk about that. So yeah, I was at the Overhills Mansion in Baltimore. It was a 2-day tournament. 8
all
games.
Into the dark.
All into the dark, yep.
Yep.
4 games first day, 4 games second day.
Yep. First day was Swiss for the tournament, how they did pairings. Second day was all brackets. What was your opinions on that? Because I got some strong opinions.
Yeah. So I thought brackets were interesting. We've never been to a tournament with brackets before.
Yep.
So it was interesting. I was okay with it, simply because of the fact that I do like the fact that it kind of keeps players, you stick around, I guess. Like, as long as your goal isn't to just like win everything.
Still got like if you can't win the tournament, you still got a chance to win your bracket.
You did get an award for winning your bracket, and brackets were typically 10 people. I think they all were.
Every 10 people except for the very last one. I think it was only 7.
Something
like
87
players.
That's right. It was 87. So I liked it. I thought it was okay. I know you felt.
I felt strongly against it because my personal experience was being stuck down in the 50s for ranking day 1, and then I couldn't climb my way back out of that, even though I won 3 of the 4 games that day. 3 of the 4 games that day. So I couldn't get any higher than like 51 was the highest I could get. And then players, I also didn't like players in higher brackets, first bracket, second bracket, who lost all their games, couldn't drop further down and allow other people to get in there. So it made it like you didn't really, like, once you got in that top bracket or that second bracket, third bracket, you didn't really have to try. Like, if you lost your first or second game, you can just kind of mess around the rest of the tournament, and you didn't really have to care because you didn't drop any.
Yeah, in terms of getting any sort of award, if you made top bracket, you were guaranteed to take home something.
Exactly. So like 8th, 9th, 10th didn't really have to worry too much.
Right, you were gonna win and there were very few people on the first day. I think there was less than 10 who actually went 4-0.
There were 8 day. Yeah, I counted.
There was 8. Yep. And then the other ones who went 3-1. Actually, I think there were 3 and then draws, right?
3 or 4 people that went 4-0, and then there were a few people that went 3 in a draw.
Yeah.
So technically still undefeated.
Right. So I mean, they did very well in that they deserve to be placed in top bracket. But yeah, I see where the frustration comes from.
It kept people from moving in or out of those brackets, which may have been the point, but I didn't like it because I couldn't get any higher even though I was winning my games. So what team did you take?
So I brought Kazrakin. I also, for those of you who saw the LVO video, I took him to that as well. So this was, similar. It was a big tournament, 8 games, so one more than LVO was, except this was all into the dark. Which very different. Yeah. But personally, I felt more comfortable with Kazrakin on Into the Dark. So I was the only Kazrakin player there. Pretty lame.
Hey, but now you're known as like the Kazrakin.
Apparently, that's my thing. So no, I did really well with them. First day, I went 3-1. Second day, I also went 3-1. So I finished 6-2 overall. I finished 12th, so second in the second bracket.
Well, yeah, some pretty good players too. Travis.
Yes. And, Travis Chang. Yep.
Dakota was pretty cool.
Yep. Dakota Luster. Yeah. Those are my 2 losses, and they were super fun games. Yeah. Hopefully, some people maybe saw the game on stream. We did. Dakota Luster and I got to play on Kill Team streams. It was strummed. So that was super cool. I had a great time. All my games. I actually had a different. Different opponents at LVO. I had I think I played 1 elite team, but at KTO I actually had 4 elite teams. Yeah, so it was like 50-50, and that was interesting. So, which I was okay with because I think Kazra can do really well against elite teams. So, but what about you? How'd you do?
So I took Blooded. Kind of hopped on that train a little bit before Vegas. They're a really fun team. I ended up going 1 win, 1 loss, and 2 draws day 1.
Too weird.
Yep. And then went 3-1 the next day. So 4 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws total. Ended up taking 3rd or 4th in the 5th bracket or whatever it was. But Had some really interesting matchups. Whereas you had 4 elite matchups, I had 4 Corsairs matchups.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
very interesting how that worked out. And those of you who don't know, Blooded are a very slow team, and against teams like Corsairs, you can't really outspeed them or even keep up. So it's a lot harder to try to match up with their maneuverability. So especially on Into the Dark.
Oh yeah, on Into the Dark, they're a great team.
So.
Yep.
But if you want to talk about those matches that you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, so I kind of wanted to highlight both of those losses that we were just talking about. So the first one was against Dakota Luster. He runs LVO. So that's where we met him, and I was super glad I got to play with him. It was actually the second game on the first day, and no less on stream. So super fun. He played Vet Guard with all of his celebrity Vet Guard models.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Really interesting way of making like Hibesh and the team together.
It's super cool, but just something unique I've never seen before. But it was a very fun game. It was very, very close. I think at the end of the third turning point, it was a tie game.
Yeah.
So we didn't know how it was going to go.
I feel like there were a lot of tied games up until that last turning point, or even in general during that tournament. It was very
apparently
close
for you especially.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but that game, it just swung in Dakota's favor in the fourth turning point. I think he had more models than me left.
Yeah.
I think I only had 3,
which is kind of hard to not do when you already start with 4.
Right. Yeah. Right. And actually, the thing is too, I had realized afterwards that my last move was I moved my recon trooper through a door onto a point that his flamer was on, and I believe he was on guard. But I had to do this to keep him from getting a point.
Yeah.
And I had used 4 KTO, which for those who don't know, gives you a 5-up feel no pain for the rest of the turning point. It's pretty solid. And he didn't survive, he died. But if he wouldn't have died, thinking back, that was actually my guy who scored me one for Robin Ransack.
Okay.
So he would have gotten me another point.
You took Robin Ransack?
I did. I did. Against Vanguard, it's a strat. It's a strat.
You're relying on some good rolls and points there,
and then, if he would have survived, though, I would have got the second point for Robin Ransack, and I would have denied one of Dakota's. So and the end result was he won by 2 points.
Oh,
so it was a super close game. It been tied, but it was super close. It was really fun. He's a fantastic opponent. For those of you who don't know, he's Dakota from Luster's Workshop. Makes all sorts of really great things for Kill Team. Really fancy acrylic
he's
tokens.
Also part of squad games and TOs. Pretty much anything big on the West Coast. So LVO, all Valley team tournaments and the summer and stuff like that. So
great guy. So that was a super fun game. And then the other one I just want to talk about quick too was against Travis Chang. That was the second day, my third game. That basically was going to determine essentially who was going to win in our bracket between him and I, because we were the only two who were 2-0 at the time. And I mean, maybe it wouldn't have determined it overall, but it put one of us up ahead farther. This case being him.
Yeah.
He had Star Striders. He has them, he's got them figured out pretty well. And they are a
very, very solid team.
They're good. Yeah.
And they didn't even get many buffs, but the buffs they got were enough to push them over that line.
For sure. Yeah. So. But especially on Into the Dark too, it's tough. Kazir can have a tough time against them. We had a very, very bloody match.
Yeah, I heard.
It was crazy. I was actually able to get up. I was able to push up on the right side of the board and actually get to his side. But then the left side was the opposite. He was just pushing forward so much. And I think at the end of the game, it was he had, I think, 2 or 3 guys left, and I had 1. Yeah. And it was 20-12 at the end. So it was pretty crazy. Lots of deaths and stuff. It was a really good game, though. He was a great opponent. He's very well versed in everything Kill Team, and you've played against him.
Yeah, I've played against him in Chicago.
Yeah. So he's just a very good opponent. I'm glad I got to play against him. It was the first time I've ever played against him, so it was super fun. But that's pretty much the main stuff I wanted to highlight. So what's
I'll just go ahead and highlight a couple of games from my experience here. First one I'm going to highlight is on day 1, my second loss was against or first loss, sorry, because I only lost one game on that.
Right, yeah.
Was against Shane from Command Point. Really, really cool dude. I actually didn't know if it was him or not at first, because it kind of looked like it, kind of sounded like it, but I didn't want to like imply anything and him be like, what? So, but then at the end of the match, he was like, yeah, have you heard of Command Point on YouTube? I was like, yeah, dude, I'm a big fan. I watched your stuff.
We're in your Discord.
Yeah, it's kind of inspired us to start a channel and stuff. So he curb stomped me with Nurgle Legionaries. Played them a little bit differently than I've seen them played before, especially by our other one of our other members, Nate. But he didn't take an Icon Bearer, and he didn't take the Plasma Gunner. He took a Melta Gunner. And it kind of makes sense because the Ogryn's scary. So Melta Gun, also Melta at 6-inch range and Into the Dark isn't actually that bad.
Yep.
And it's pretty much deleting stuff on a Marine. So, but I couldn't deny him Overwatches as well as I should have, and just my dice luck was not there that game. So he ended up stomping me. It was like 19-10 or something like that. It was bad. It was really bad.
That is rough.
But, you know, we were able to kind of get our name out there a little bit, and, you know, it was really cool meeting him.
Yep.
And then second game I want to talk about was so out of the 4 Corsairs matches, my very last one was round 7. His name, I believe, was Eric. He really, really cool dude, very sporting guy. And he played Corsairs in a way that I hadn't seen him played that tournament yet. And it was very aggressive, very bloody, very in my face. And he took Seek and Destroy instead of Recon. So I was a little surprised by that, but he was still able to, I believe, max his TAC ops. So very surprising. But it pretty much came down to like the very last activation. I was able to deny him two different objectives, which swung the game in my favor by 1 point. And then me just kind of setting up like hatchway fights and stuff with extra APO. He also had played against Blooded a couple times, but hadn't really played them enough to like know every single little like thing that they can do. Because I believe he said that he's from the California area, so he plays with like Chris and stuff a lot.
Yeah.
But he didn't really know about Dark Favor until I told him about it. And he was like, "Oh, okay. Well, now I've got to force somebody into it to try to eat, a shot." But it was really cool match, really fun dude. Very, very sportful, and he was actually one I voted for best sportsmanship. Because he was like just all around cool. So, and then just a little honorable mention here. The first day, my 4th round, I played against another Corsairs player, and he was very, very good, very meticulous with how he did his actions and moved his models. I cannot remember the name.
Chris?
Was it Chris? I think
it was.
I think it might have been Chris. Yeah,
because I was watching this game at the end.
Yeah, very, very, very like skilled opponent. And then so we ended up tying that game, and then day 2, first match of the day, I ended up playing against him again and lost by 1 point down to a single dice roll. Otherwise, it would have been a tie game, and then would have gone to me on tiebreakers. But just he was a pretty cool dude too. So all around Corsairs players, I guess, are just good players and
good
cool
dudes.
people. Yeah. Honestly. But that's all I had to talk about for my matches and stuff. So
sure. Yeah, so I think as far as like the rest of the venue goes, there was way more than just the championship stuff. Like, we did the championship stuff.
There was a whole narrative thing.
Narrative tournament, which was hosted by Ben from Battle Brothers Tabletop, I think.
I had never heard of him before this.
Huge in the kill team community. You guys probably know him. Really friendly dude. He ran all the narrative stuff.
Yeah.
So,
and then I heard that was a cool experience.
Yeah. It seemed like all of the players afterwards, and there was tons of awards given out for that one too. Yeah. And they all seemed like super happy.
Like even an award for the most permanent deaths. Yes. Yeah, that was really cool.
Yep.
And then like painting competitions and painting classes and stuff.
Yeah, there's
lots of awards that went out. So I think even somebody won a Soul Shackle box off the raffle.
They did. Yeah.
There at the event, which was kind of
There was I think for the squad goals painting competition.
Was it?
I think somebody won like a top of the line airbrush.
Yes, I remember that. I think her name was like Sam or Samantha.
I think so, something like that. I think she won a couple of things, and so that was cool. So they had like different, mini categories that you could go vote on what your favorite one was, and they won some prizes. So
yeah,
It was very cool.
Lots of cool people. We even met Glass Half Dead. If you're watching this in the future, you know, just know that you were an awesome dude, and we're glad to meet you.
Yeah. So we get to meet a ton of content creators.
Exactly.
It was great.
It was a blast, honestly, and especially being able to get our name out there and stuff too was cool.
And I'm sure Kill Team Open will continue to be a thing in future years.
Continue to grow. I'm
Absolutely.
Sure.
So honestly, if you live anywhere near, or you just want to, you know, check out a tournament,
honestly, like
that's
just
a good place to go.
get a cheap flight, get a Airbnb with a couple other people, or you know, just a hotel cheap somewhere. It's really cool experience, especially for Kill Team, because it's all Kill Team. There's nothing else. You know, no big Warhammer or AOS or any other mini skirmish games. So awesome experience.
And there is a Discord channel specifically for KTO.
Yes.
So you can, if you find that, or you get invited to it, or however you do it, there are people on there when it rolls around each year. If we're looking, you know, want a ride share, or you know, you can work something out with other people. So I think it's pretty.
If you have to go to one tournament a year, I'd say go to KTO. It's either LVO or KTO. Go to
if you're a Kill Team fan, you're gonna love KTO. So also, I would just like to give a shout out to Jimmy Kelly. He destroyed.
Took Compendium Custodies to first place, and that is just a crazy feat.
Yes,
for sure.
He's a fantastic guy too. I talked to him a lot, and just super nice guy. He, you know, it's him and his kids, you know, go to events and stuff. And I played against one of his kids before, and they're a great family. So, you know, congrats to him. That's awesome.
I hope he takes Custodies to the grand final. I really want to see it.
That would be awesome. Was this a golden ticket though?
Yeah, it was.
It was.
It was.
So he does get
to go to the grand final.
Great.
So I really want to see him take Custodies to the grand final.
That'd be cool. Either way though, whatever he does, he's a great player. So like, you know, it was pretty cool to talk to him and just see somebody take something different.
Especially Compendium, yeah.
It was so cool. But yeah, it was it was tough competition all around too. Like there was a lot of people there who were known, you know.
Especially top ITC players. Yep. You know. So
it was a very cool tournament though. Again, highly recommended. You know, once year 3 rolls around.
Yeah, we'll see. 200 players, you know.
Otherwise,
this has been us talking about KTO and our experiences. You know, if you have any questions about these tournaments or, you know, our experiences after this, let us know in the comments below. Otherwise, like, share, comment, subscribe for sure. Hit that bell notification button in the corner, and, you know, make sure you keep up to date with our content. So,
see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.